Yo, yo, Danny Phantom. He just saved the Earth. I am not gonna do that, but like basically, yeah, we're gonna do a spotlight on Danny and a spotlight on Ben. Because personally, okay, now Danny, I got a lot of stuff to pull from, but from Ben, I'm trying to figure out where I want to, which Ben am I taking? Like, I know I want like Ultimate Alien Ben at some point, but I want there to be like a little. It's kind of, I would say, it's kind of before some of the stuff in the Omniverse happens. But then again, they're gonna have kind of an alternate change because of everything in the Age first. But let's say, okay. But I'm focusing on Danny first. Danny, after saving the world, he's basically like a, and I'm taking a little bit of this from Butch Hartman. He's a veritable celebrity. Everybody wants to know where he is. Everybody's like, oh, when Danny's like flying in his ghost form, they're like, oh my God, Danny Phantom! Click, click, click. And Danny sometimes goes into the ghost zone. Now, you're probably wondering, Bugsy, didn't you say that him and Sam are kind of split up? Well, I didn't technically say that, viewer. I kind of said that they were together, but I've been thinking after various things in Phantom Planet, I've been thinking, what if Sam and Danny, like after all this, they split up, and maybe in a story for Danny, I would actually explain it a little bit more. But yeah, they split up. But mostly, Danny has been spending time mostly in the Ghost Zone. It's the one place where everybody can't really find him. But he does have his enemies constantly trying to get him, but it's Danny doesn't really mind it. He's just kind of like, ugh. As long as I can stay away from everybody who wants to take a picture of me, I'm fine. And maybe, if you know where I'm leading up to, well, Butch Harmon actually threw out a lot of good ideas, but the one I really thought was interesting, what if Amber and Danny got together? But I'll talk about that in a minute. Mm, Sorry, I'm still typing up. I'm still typing up omnifracturing. Well, I'm actually answering some things, but yeah. Some things about omnifracturing I'm still working on anyway. But yeah, back to Danny. So Danny and Amber actually like Amber's always and Amber kind of like talks to Danny because he's not really thinking of any plans or anything. Because she just gets tired of she like unlike his other enemies, she's just tired of always kind of having a plan, getting shoved into the thermos and back into the ghost zone. Getting shoved into the thermos, having a plan, getting shoved into the thermos, back into the ghost zone. Just all that stuff. But she does talk to Danny like a lot of people know your name. A lot of people know your name, Danny. I always have to have a plan to make people remember my name. And it would go into this whole thing about Danny and Amber kind of like Amber just kind of like not really understanding why Danny doesn't want his fame, but she starts to understand him because he starts coming to the ghost zone a lot. And Danny and Amber get a little bit closer, just a little bit. Sam and Danny are still kind of working together because it takes them a little long. It takes them a while, but they're still friends with everybody. But they're not like together, and that's for the best. Because I keep thinking about Phantom Planet, and like, dude, I understand Danny did a self like I understand Danny did kind of a selfish thing for getting rid of his powers, but I always kind of figured, you know, a lot of like I can understand Danny doing that before things got like hairy, you know, because I mean, if given the choice to basically get rid of your powers, so you can stop your loved ones from being, hunted, well, like being accused of almost getting arrested because of it. I mean, when you get rid of your powers, or at least figure out a way to conceal them. So yeah, I think that Sam just kind of, I think Sam and Danny, I would say they kind of understand that what they had at that very moment of Phantom Planet, it's kind of gone now. They just, I would say they kind of fall out of, they kind of fall out of love for each other. They try to make it work, but really just doesn't. They're just not compatible. Because again, I always thought the kiss in Phantom Planet was very rushed. I mean, there's some build up, but it's just, yeah. I just feel like Sam and Danny are just better off by themselves. Tucker, though, I'm not gonna say who Tucker gets with. It's a secret when I start writing more Danny Phantom like stories. But basically, but basically, yeah, Amber's pretty much on Team Danny to the to the to the chagrin of Sam, and to the oh my god they're dating to Jazz and Tucker. And yeah, so you're probably wondering, why are you doing this, Bugsy? I want to shake things up with Danny just a little bit, because maybe we actually go into the various things that Butch Hartman said in the video. Because honestly, again, the H verse itself is a vehicle for me to just write more stories about more characters that I want to write about. Not just my own characters with their own stuff, just more about these characters and more about the places that they live. But yeah, while Danny's okay, Danny is basically taking care of Technit, like in Omnifracturing. Well, before the events of Omnifracturing starts, Amber and Danny are basically taking care of the Box Ghost. Beware! They're taking care of him, and they're taking care of him and Skulker and Technus. Skulker because, well, come on now. You think I'd forget that Skulker and Amber were a thing? So it's just him trying to hunt Danny, and he realizes that Amber's with Danny, and it just pisses him off. Making Skulker have a more, I mean, he's gonna have a, like, I wanted to make Skulker's little vendetta towards Danny a little bit more personal than him just wanting to hunt him because he was rare. Because, I was just thinking about that. Because I had this idea. I was thinking about this. What if Peter got with Craven's girl in the animated series, and I was like, but what if that was with Skulker and ooh, and that just kind of went where it needed to go. But yeah, Skulker is gonna come back, and he is going to be pissed. Every time you'll see him in a story, he is pissed. He is rightfully pissed. He is properly pissed. But yeah, Technus wanted to kind of help Skulker out because Technus, we like I wanted a kind of thing where when they made Skulltech, but like this is like the earliest version of like Skulltech where Technus is like working to make because Danny's powers are a little bit more powerful than what like they're they've got a little bit more powerful, and they're a little bit more stronger than the end of the series. Skulker had to compensate for that. So yeah. And so did Technus. While the Box Ghost is there, well, it's the Box Ghost, guys. He appears everywhere where you don't want him. Skulker and Technus would literally point this out. And I'm only telling you this now because I'm pretty much gonna go. We're pretty much gonna get into the point where Danny finds Vlad with his new found power. And you're probably wondering, so since Thanos is in here and they're all working together, what does he give them? Well, if I would tell you, but mm, I wanna just keep this going for a while. I wanna keep this going until I'm done. But basically, Danny, um, Danny Danny and Amber after fighting, and Tucker and Jazz are there too, but Tucker and Jazz are there too to kind of help them out. And even okay, and I just had this. I was thinking about that one design that Butch Hartman did for Amber, and I think about this like she gets a little D on her chest, and Danny goes you're not really part of the team, and I would, in typical me style, I would kind of make her just. I want to sneak a dirty joke. I want to put a dirty joke in there, but I'm not gonna. But I don't want to do it. I'm trying to be kind of PG, but part of me just wants to write the like I like part of me. But basically, his D's on her T's. That's the joke. Yeah, you guys are like, Bugsy, really? That's kind of immature of you. Come on, man, it's me. Remember, Kate, the chaotic dude, has a dirty mind. Anyways, so yeah, and basically Vlad shows up, and I'll leave that from there. Danny's ghostly well has even gotten even stronger. His duplications are straight up clones. They don't. His duplications have gotten way more advanced. Like Danny can actually split some of his consciousness into them, mostly for like decoy purposes or mate, and sometimes even decoy purposes when he's hiding from the other people who want to freaking take his picture. And the thing is, Danny is not a douche. He will actually take pictures with like kids and various people who are fans of him. But if there's like too many, if there's like a whole bunch of people, he will run. He will fly away as best he can. Um, but yeah, and are they part of Ghostbusters International? Well, I get well, Maddie basically told the head of Ghostbusters International, which is still Egon, that basically Amity Park doesn't really technically a need a Ghostbusters because we already got Danny Phantom and his team. So basically, Egon goes basically, well, he's a ghost. Well, and then Maddie kind of chimes in and tells him that basically it's basically handled. You don't need to have a Ghostbuster team out there. And Egon goes, so I guess you trust him. And well, I do know that he is actually your son. And she's like, and Maddie goes, what? He's like, well, you didn't think that I would. Come on now, you'd think I wouldn't know. Danny Phantom, Danny Fenton. It's kind of easy. And yeah, Egon is technically still Egon. I wanted to kind of make technically still alive for reasons. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Danny still protects Amity Park from everything under the sun. And now that, and I wanted to add this since, even though it's a little bit of, what we know about Danny from the show, but I wanted to add something else. He does know that HE, or the H versus version of Bugsy, was the leader of Teenage. So does Ben, and they kind of think they don't idolize him per se, but they know who he is. They know how powerful he is. So when they're all joined together, they're like, and they do. But Ben is like a true fan of his. Like Ben is like fanboying out about him a little bit. Like, aren't you the guy who? Yeah, I fought I fought the Nightwalkers. I've literally done this and that, stuff like that. Danny knows about him, but he's not like a fan of him. He's he just thinks it's cool that a hero kind of an omega level hero like him is really dealing with someone dealing with Thanos and helping them out. And yeah, basically, Danny isn't opposed to teaming up because he's like, well, Vlad's teaming up, so you guys are fighting your own villains, and Thanos is basically helping out Vlad, so I'm gonna team up with you guys. And basically, yeah. So Danny, so Danny is Danny's a so to sum up, Danny's a celebrity, kind of with Amber. Thinking of putting some very little bit of lewd jokes in there just because with them too. Um, basically, again, it's still Danny Phantom, but there are a few things I didn't really say that I'm gonna kind of use, and some other things I don't really want to say because when I do stories for Danny, it's gonna be I'm not gonna go too far. You ain't gonna see any blood or excessive cursing. But what you will see, well, for Danny's stories, Vlad isn't going to be the main villain in this. I think you guys already know. I mean, there's one villain of Danny's that had a tease that he was coming back, but you never saw him after that. And yes, some people have actually put him in various fan works, but didn't really use them to its full potential, but used them for other things. And you don't know which thing I'm talking about in another fan work. I'm talking about Grim Tales. You think? I'm just saying. You think? Never mind. Because I can talk about Grim Tales ad nauseum with the whole Dark Danny is with Mandy. Grim is just okay with it. It's a mess. But basically, yeah. And oh yeah, Tucker. Well, now that I remember what I actually wrote because I just remembered. Yeah, Tucker's the mayor, so he's not really on the team as much, but he's the youngest. He's the youngest mayor, and I wanted to keep that because literally, I find that kind of interesting. And may I'll do a story where we actually get to see how Tucker actually truly got into this. Mm, but yeah, Danny is still, but Danny is still him. He's a little, I'd say he's roughly about 2 years older. He still does. He's still kind of. I mean, he's still pretty young, but he's got a little bit more experience under his belt. His powers have really grown into some. His power is a little bit. I mean, his overall experience and power is, well, right up there with Ben's. And Ben's overall stuff, and I'll say this right now, is a little bit closer to Eiichi's. Again, Eiichi is not as powerful as Prime, and I've always kind of said that he isn't as powerful as Prime because Prime, I should explain that in another video completely. But basically, yeah. Basically, yeah. So, yeah, that's Danny Phantom. And yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, last thing. Valerie is like her own. Valerie is like her own. She's just hunting. She's hunting ghosts. She's hunting ghosts around various things. I forgot what happened to. I forgot what happened to Danny's clone though. I don't really remember what happened to her. I gotta refresh my memory. But basically, yeah, Valerie's still a ghost hunter, but she's not as angry as she used to be. And you are going to see her in Omni Fracturing because I kinda like her. And there is gonna be a little bit of awkwardness between Danny, because now she knows that Danny Phantom is actually Danny Fenton. There's gonna be a lot of stuff that I'm not really gonna get into. There's a lot of stuff that I'm not really gonna get into with Valerie, but she's gonna have her own story where her and Danny team up to take care of a few ghosts. There are gonna be a few original ghosts that I've planned for this. But think of the H versus Danny story as like an unofficial new season of Danny Phantom in kind of like my fan fiction audio drama kind of audio book style. Again, no, yeah, Tanzanite is the one who created this beautiful piece of artwork. I love it, and yeah, Danny's gonna be around and various. And when we get, and the unfracturing was kind of a way to kind of say, yeah, I'm probably gonna do more Danny stories and Ben 10 stories and various other things because again, I wanted to kind of make their own things. Again, I'm setting up Team H like its own little comic book universe with its own things that go on in it and various other things that happen. Again, if characters die in my stories, they literally stay dead. But I'm not gonna pull a George R. R. Martin and like fucking kill Sam or Jazz or Danny's parents. So don't worry about that. Characters, when I feel like characters are gonna die, I'll either hint it, make a picture, show some sort of a picture on my Twitter or my well, you know what? I have a personal Facebook, but I should make a Facebook for stuff like this. I need to think about that. Also, I think I would probably love to get a few writers that really want to help me out with this because really, when you're writing like a whole bunch of characters, and I just feel like I need some more writers for this too. Anyways, but like anybody that's adept with Ben 10 and Danny Phantom. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah. So Danny's that's pretty much it about Danny. Next, I think next Sunday, because this video is gonna come out on a Sunday. I will talk about Ben and what he does. It's gonna be great. You guys are gonna love it. I will say that. I will say this though. At some point, Ben does travel with Paradox, Professor Paradox. You're probably wondering why. Oh, I'll get into that. I'll get into that when it happens. When I do the other video. See you guys later. Bye, folks.